I'm Michael Krigsman, an industry analyst and the host of CXO Talk. We're here in Las Vegas at the FinancialForce.com conference called Community Live 2017. And I'm speaking with Todd Nielsen, who is the CEO of Financial Force. Hi, Todd, how are you?
Good, Mike, how are you?
I'm great. So this morning at your keynote, you spoke about the new service economy.
I did.
What is the service economy?
So I talked about the evolution our industry has been going through and how our experience as consumers is changing from buying products to consuming everything as a service. And we spent some time talking about the op-ed piece that Marc Andreessen wrote in 2011 saying how software was going to eat the world, and how in just 6 short years we've now evolved into where more and more things are experienced as a service. And so going forward, I laid out the premise that services are devouring the galaxy, and the economy of how consumers and businesses buy from other businesses is changing completely. That the idea of having assets and owning physical goods is actually going to go away. But there's going to be a day when people literally won't own anything. If you look at WhatsApp that Facebook bought for $19 billion, it was 16 developers. And they had 30 million users. How a company could have 16 developers and 30 million users and be able to build this incredible service is something that we're now seeing is reality and going to be important going forward.
And this is affecting companies in every industry. You gave the example of Boeing.
Absolutely. Boeing used to be known for, hey, we're going to build jet planes and let's go, and they buy their parts and their jet engines. And they're finding from their suppliers that they actually are selling to Boeing the engines at cost, and they're making their money on the maintenance and the upkeep and all that stuff. And so any classic hardware companies, quote unquote, like Tesla, are now realizing that they're really a services company, and that the hardware is simply a delivery vehicle for them to enhance their services.
Financial Force is can we say a back-end software provider of ERP, although you also now are touching the front end, touching the users. And so why is this so important to Financial Force?
Well, I think, if you look at the market right now, we're seeing a couple of interesting trends. One is the adoption of cloud computing. I've spent my career in the infrastructure and platform world, and I think we're now getting to the point where businesses are realizing there's opportunity in the cloud for them. And it's no longer a point of if they go to the cloud, but when. And so it's a great opportunity for our customers to say, how are we going to get our back office? How are we going to get our systems on the cloud so we can be more aligned and attuned with the overall business? Second, with all the demanding changes, one of the phrases I said this morning was speed is the new currency. And businesses are saying we need more, we need more, we need more. And when they look to their back office, if their back office team is saying, sorry, we can't accommodate, we can't move that fast, it's going to be viewed as slowing growth or preventing future progress. And so the back office teams are saying, what can we do to transform ourselves to respond to the incredible demands that our business are giving us?
So this issue of speed is extremely important, and we hear the phrase digital transformation.
Absolutely.
This issue of speed is so important. So maybe elaborate on that dimension as well.
Sure. So speed it's no longer the point of, hey, let's do a project that's going to take 3 years. So the idea of an SAP implementation that's going to take 3 years to go, that is so yesteryear. Now businesses are saying, what can we do to move fast? And so I think what you're finding is companies are saying, okay, I'm going to be less picky about the particular customization, and I want to have a more curated path of technology that's going to meet my needs so I can move fast. Every business I talk to is talking about incredible releases. In fact, in the software industry, it used to be I grew up at Microsoft. We would do a release every year or every 2 years, and then we went to quarterly releases, and that was a dramatic event. Now in the cloud computing, when I was running Heroku at the Salesforce, when I was at Salesforce, we were doing releases every day. So there's a certain amount of responsiveness and iteration and in the game that's important.
So software and features as a set of curated functions.
It used to be viewed as here's a lump of clay and let's take time to mold and sculpt it into what you want.
And thus you had 10-year, 20-year implementations.
Exactly, and no one was happy at the end. And so I have a view of it going forward, it's more of the, let's make a deal approach of do you want door number 1 or door number 2 and which is going to meet my needs? And then the focus is on configuration, not customization. So you can configure it to meet your particular needs or business model nuances, but not have something that's completely customized and sending you down a rat hole that you may not be able to get out of.
What advice do you have for customers who want to move to the cloud, who want to adopt this kind of speed?
Yeah, I think the most important thing, and I talked a little bit about it this morning, is in the IT world there's a famous triangle of people, process, and technology. And it used to be that technology was a long pole in a tent. And we're now to a point where people and process are as important, if not more important. And so what I would say to people that are looking at wanting to move fast is identify your vendors or who you're going to purchase products from and lean in with them, because success is a team sport. It's going to require you to lean in and invest your time and energy to deliver, to let them know what you need, and then expect them to lean in, equally hard to provide you the capabilities and functionality you need, and together you can be the yin and yang to actually deliver the success.
So collaboration inside the organization is the key.
Inside the organization and with your partners. It is now a matter of, the idea of, we're going to be a partnership in this vendor-customer relationship. It's no longer just a buzzword. It is an important imperative for successful projects.
So ecosystem is a fundamental part of this.
Absolutely. It is, the cloud is all about the network effect and bringing people together, and as you're driving these implementations, you can't do it alone. No successful company will be an island. It has got to be working together as an ecosystem, working together as a team to achieve that success.
I love that. You can't do it alone. Todd Nielsen, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.